This is one of my most requested recipes for family dinners, even by the meat eaters. It is a hearty vegetarian lasagna with a spinach ricotta filling. It is so cheesy, so comforting, and it is going to be a hit at your dinner table. Hi, I'm Becca from Fork in the Kitchen, and I am here to help you make meatless meals that everyone will love. Let's get started. All right. Well, we're gonna cut off both ends of the shallot bulb and then slice down the middle to take off a little papery peel. And I like to use a shallot for this filling because it gives a really nice mild onion flavor without being too much. Whew. Okay. I might need a tissue. Give the baby spinach a nice chop. It doesn't have to be too fine, but this will help it really, what am I trying to say? Giving it a rough chop will help it wilt down even finer and then really like infuse into the filling. Infuse is weird. Maybe I'll try again with the next chop. Okay, so we're gonna start by sauteing the shallots. You could use olive oil or butter for this. I'm just gonna use a little bit of butter today. I always love using butter. So we're gonna let that melt in. If you're using olive oil, just heat it up just the same. So I am using a little bit more shallot than the recipe says, about 2 to 3 tablespoons. Really just grab a medium bulb and dice it up. It doesn't need to be too specific here. And we're sauteing it so that it gets really flavorful. It just makes the best filling. Don't forget to add a pinch of salt here to start layering in those flavors. Okay, our shallot has sauteed for about 2 to 3 minutes, just until it starts to get a little soft. And now we're gonna add in the garlic. Of course, I'm using my favorite garlic press, and we're just gonna squeeze it right in. And if you've watched my other videos, it's so nice because you can just stick it in with the paper peel, I guess, on. There's no prep work. So we're gonna add several cloves here and, whoops. I'm just gonna put 2 in that one because they're pretty small. But it needed a little extra muscle there. Okay. Now we're also gonna add in a pinch of red pepper flakes here and a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. I love using red pepper flakes because they add just a really nice balance of flavor, but they don't have to be spicy. If you only add a pinch, they just really balance it out without that spiciness. I feel like I really ran. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry, it's like, no. All right, we're gonna wilt in the spinach. It looks like so much, but as you know, it's really going to shrink down. So keep stirring it for a few minutes. As the spinach wilts down, you'll see it gets nice and bright green and almost like silky. So that's what we're going for. So when I chop the baby spinach, I do try to make sure any like big stems are taken out just because it's not the nicest to eat. So if you find any that you missed that seem really like big or thick, you can go ahead and take them out. Okay, so the spinach has wilted down. Now it has a lot of water in it, so we're actually going to let it strain for a minute. This will make sure that our lasagna filling is not runny. Okay, so to do that, grab a bowl. I have a large measuring cup here and a fine mesh strainer. just transfer the spinach mixture into the strainer. You'll even see like it's a lot more liquidy even in this. Our butter had really absorbed into the shallot, but all that spinach liquid is out. Just kind of give it a nice push to squeeze out that extra liquid. See, look at all that. It's kind of crazy. This might seem like a really excessive step and like too much work, but if you look at all this liquid that has already come out, I mean, that's pretty significant. Okay, so for the filling, we've got a new mixing bowl. Go ahead and add the ricotta cheese. Then we'll add the mozzarella cheese, some parmesan cheese. We've got a little pinch of nutmeg and some salt, and then we're gonna mix in our spinach. Now we're gonna mix this up. You know what? We're gonna add a little bit freshly ground pepper. So it's all mixed together, and before we add the egg, which is a really good binder, we're gonna taste test it to make sure the salt is perfect. And it is, it's great. So now we're gonna crack this egg. I'm just gonna do it into this little container here. Just give it a little whisk, and that'll just make sure that it easily mixes into the filling. So then just give it a good stir. Okay, and it's combined, so we are ready to assemble. Okay, we're gonna grease our pan to start. I'm just using a little bit of softened butter that I'll spread around. You could also use cooking spray or just a little bit of olive oil. So rub that in, and then I'm gonna use a paper towel to just spread it around a little bit more. And obviously this just keeps our lasagna from sticking to the pan. Okay, now we're gonna spread a layer of tomato sauce as our base. It's gonna keep the bottom, oh my God. It's gonna make sure that the bottom layer of noodles stays nice and moist, and again, helps prevent the lasagna from sticking to the pan. Okay, so let's start with our base of lasagna noodles. So today I'm using these super easy, no boil lasagna sheets. I do have notes for using homemade pasta, which if you're going to do it, like hands down, it is so good. But we're gonna keep it really easy too, so you've got options. Go ahead and break them apart to spread them on the bottom as much as you want. You can either do about a third of the ricotta mixture if you just want to do 3 layers of pasta, or about a fourth for 4 layers of pasta. It just depends if you prefer it more filling heavy or pasta heavy. So spread that around on the noodles. Okay, and then another sprinkle of cheese, because of course we're gonna have more cheese. And then some pasta sauce. So you can use store-bought or homemade pasta sauce. I will link my favorite homemade version here. Now we're just gonna keep doing the same thing. Assemble the noodles on. I don't know if it really matters, but I kind of like to switch the direction that I put the noodles, because, you know, why not be a little extra? So again, noodles, then we're gonna do the filling. I'm going for 3 layers here. This is our last layer. So instead of adding the final cheese now, we're going to do some sauce as our last layer. And honestly, You can measure the cheese and the sauce with your heart. You don't have to follow what's on this recipe. I often like to obviously add more cheese. So do what you will. Spread that on for a nice saucy top. And then we're gonna finish with grated Parmesan cheese, the rest of it, and mozzarella for a super cheesy top. For the first half of the baking, we are gonna cover it with foil. So it'll bake with the foil for about 25 minutes, and then we will take it off and continue cooking it for about 20 to 30 minutes until it is golden brown and nice and melty on top and bubbly around the edges. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. So the hardest part is going to be waiting about 10 to 15 minutes to let it set up. Garnish with a little extra cheese. Throw in some fresh basil if you want, but I cannot wait to dig in. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. Those layers, the ricotta spinach filling. Oh my gosh, it's so cheesy, so savory, so hearty. I cannot get enough. Okay, well, I've got to go finish this. So join me back here next week for another meatless meal that everyone will love. Until then, happy eating. What do I say? Yay! I have to go to the bathroom. You're allowed.